Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Worst. It's Menenberg here, and I just want to start by saying, before I launch into my diatribe, what I'm going to talk about now may be a little bit controversial. In the past, I've had a lot of people, students, viewers, friends, family, ask me if I'm going to get into the political realm with some of my discussions, and I've been really hesitant to do that. I feel like we get a lot of that. We get more than enough on social media and elsewhere. And it's not that I don't have opinions or strong feelings about these things. It's just, that's not really the purpose of this show. However, in the case of this subject, I don't know if I could really avoid it. And so I'm doing it. Today, I'm here to talk about cats. Cats, my friends, are the worst. Cats are by far the worst. If I was ranking things like in my life of things that I think are the worst, cats are right up there at the top. And I know I'm going to lose some people here. I know some of you have already turned off. You're writing the emails and the hate mail as we speak, and I look forward to reading that. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. However, you are wrong. I am right. Cats are the worst. This isn't a dogs versus cats thing, by the way. This is simply that cats are awful. They come from the Prince of Darkness, and they have no place in a modern, civilized home. They belong in the wild, if anywhere. Okay? So let's start with a little context. I'm going to tell a brief story about why I hate cats, and then I'm going to give you some general reasons that you can hate cats. First, it started in my early 20s. I was living in a house in California with several other of my college roommates, and across the street from us was the house of a truly disturbed individual. I didn't medically diagnose this person, but I can say with pretty certain terms that they were unwell. There were many, many stacks of soiled and old newspapers in the front yard, not to mention the house itself looked structurally unstable. And when the person did emerge from the house, they were donning a moth-eaten bathrobe and looked like they were unwell. In any case, that person had on their property no fewer than 24 stray cats. Not a great start. In addition to that, there was another individual who shall remain nameless, mainly because I didn't ask her name, who visited this property, did not live there, visited the property on a nightly basis in her car. She would then open her trunk, which was full of cat food, and proceed to feed this 24 plus stray cats. I say 24 stray plus because as they were being fed, they proliferated and procreated quite often. And so there were many, many, many more. Often these people would get into arguing and shouting matches with some of the neighbors, but lo and behold, the cats, as cats do, had no sense of boundaries, of property rights, of any of that type of thing, and went wherever they were, pleased to do so, and defecated and otherwise vandalized the properties. My house, being across the street directly, was a convenient stop, and let's just say they made it quite a habit to often visit unwelcomed. To add to this, I am mildly allergic, and mildly, I mean I might cough every now and then if I'm around a cat. It's not really a big deal. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not carrying an EpiPen. So for those of you who have real allergies, I'm not talking about that. It's just a mild inconvenience, to be clear. So that's a little bit of the context with my enmity with cats. However, there are some other general reasons why I and you should likewise not like cats. For example, cats have almost no affection to provide to their owners or their roommates. I don't actually claim that people own cats. I think it's the other way around. I think the cat is in control of that relationship, and they would actually refer to you as their pet. In fact, they are quite manipulative to this end. They do whatever they can to get what they want and will remain loyal insofar as you are feeding them and otherwise doing what they want. So if you cease to do that, they will simply go elsewhere. I'll give you an example. My cousin, growing up, had a cat that he was not kind to. That cat left, went somewhere where he was kind. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't do that in a personal relationship. I'm saying that cats have no sense of loyalty whatsoever. In fact, they are so disloyal that they will claw their owners regularly if the owners do things that they don't like, even if it's a mild inconvenience. They don't like to be bathed. They don't like to get wet. They don't like to get cleaned if it's not themselves cleaning. And they don't like you to pick them up if they're not ready for it. They will claw their owners regularly. To add to this, I had students who were telling me about their cats, and in the middle of them telling me about their cats, this is this week, this is like yesterday, they literally said, "Oh, my cat's mad at me." Like 9 out of 10 of them said that. In the moment that they were describing how great their cat was recoiling and otherwise demonstrating anger towards their owner. So that's good. Okay, let's move on to other reasons why I don't like cats, and you should not like cats either. Witches and most villains on TV and movies often are accompanied by cats. Black cats are a symbol, universally pretty much, of bad luck. No surprise there. They're evil. They are from the Prince of Darkness. I mentioned that earlier. I'll leave that one alone a little bit because I know some of you may want to be a witch, perhaps, and so I don't want to necessarily discourage your life goals. Get a cat in that case. Absolutely, you're well on your way. And I would add this, though. Cats do things that if we did in a social setting or even in a closed-door setting, we would probably be kicked out of society. I'll give you a quick example. Some cat owners will tell you that their cat shows affection by kind of rubbing up against your leg. They walk by and kind of nudge you with their bodies. I am not going to suggest this in any uncertain terms. It would be very ill-advised for you as a human being in a society to do that to any other person that you weren't married to or otherwise engaged with in a consensual relationship. If you were to go up and walk and kind of rub by somebody, bad idea. I'm not going to go further than that, but let's just say cats doing that, it's gross and it's upsetting and it makes everyone uncomfortable. And let's just stop pretending that's a sign of affection. What they're doing is they are marking you. They are rubbing their scent on you and claiming you as their property, which goes back to my earlier point that you are the pet of the cat and not the other way around. Let's keep moving here because we're low on time. Cats are also terrible because they destroy your furniture. It's a guarantee. It's part of their nature. In fact, I have seen large cats in the wild. I went to a reserve in Africa once and we were privileged to see a lion in the wild doing just what cats do in your house. They sharpen their claws. It was on a tree outdoors in the wild, whereas in your own home, these cats will do that on anything they can find. You are supposed to buy them a scratching post apparently for this reason. However, cats don't like to stay exclusive. They're not loyal, as it were. I mentioned that earlier. And so they will proceed to scratch and destroy anything and everything that you hold dear. Don't have expensive furniture with you have cats. Don't expect your house not to smell terrible because they're going to pee everywhere and defecate in your living room. Even if it is in a litter box, it's gross. Cat houses smell awful. I need a break. I've been talking quickly. There's a lot more reasons. I think I've made a pretty good case here, and I'm going to get some heat. I'm already anticipating my mailbox getting full of angry cat owners who think I'm dead wrong, and as a result, probably think I'm a terrible person. I can live with that. I really can. I'm not intentionally trying to offend you. I'm just trying to help you. That's what I'm doing here with this episode of The Worst. By knowing that cats are the worst, you can in fact take steps, positive steps in your life in ridding yourself and your loved ones of cats. How many of us know people, and I'm not going to gender this at all, but how many of you know somebody who owns several cats, like 3 or more? How would we characterize this person in our lives? Positive, negative, neutral. I'm not talking about these people specifically. I'm talking about the negative influence that they are exposed to because of cats. It's not their fault. It's the cat's fault. Cats are the worst. And if you invite that kind of negativity, that kind of darkness into your life, you shouldn't be surprised with the results. They're bad. Cats are the worst. Truly, sincerely, I mean this. and I'm trying to help. I hope you take this to heart. I hope you make some changes in your life. If you're a cat person, it's not too late. We can change, we can grow together, my friends. Boy, getting political. It's not easy. I hope I dealt with that somewhat diplomatically. It's hard to not take a firm stance against cats in this world that we live in. It's an uncertain time that we're in. And I think it's important to see things clearly in the light of day. Cats, you're the worst. You see me coming, you go the other way. We already have this arrangement. It's true. If you see me and you see a cat, watch the cat go the other way. They know. They look into my eyes, which most cats don't do because they're sociopaths. They will look into my eyes and they will flee. We have this thing. It's an ongoing thing because cats know and I know that they're the worst. All right, my friends, I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear the hate. I'm ready for it. Bring it on. Until next time, just remember, my friends, life is about choices. We'll see you on next episode of The Worst.